to The Grit Theory. This is John Mayo, and today I'm joined with Lindsey Mayo.
Hello.
How are you?
I am here.
We are here. It's a little late here today. Today is a special episode. This is a short release. There's a few things we needed to discuss and just share with everyone so they don't get whiplash, and also kind of give a shot across the bow on where we're going and how we're going to do it.
And we sort of touched on that last episode, but we really want to make sure that we were very clear and concise in this episode and just share with you guys what our thoughts and our heart really is for grit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because last episode,
we talked about the change. And where we wanted to go. But I feel like through the last little bit of just getting to talk a little bit more and really hone in, like, what do I want our mission to be? Just the different questions that you ask as you move along. I feel like we've really dialed that in, and we keep coming back to the same train of thought.
Correct.
So we 100% have that, and then we have some really fun moving forward items to address as well.
Yeah, there's exciting things on the horizon. And frankly, the last conversation, this whole experience is building a plane while it flies.
Right.
Which sometimes means you don't do something as pretty or as precisely as you want it to happen. But, you know, when going through, I'd say the last couple of weeks were very transitionary, more in a regrouping type of mindset. And now we're regrouped. We have the direction we want to go, and we're beginning to move in that direction with purpose. And that's the difference in today's conversation, where even in the last podcast that you and I recorded, talking about these changes, it was still kind of the snow globe.
It was a new concept.
Yeah, the snow globe's been shaken up.
Yeah.
Things are a little chaotic. We just didn't want to miss an episode.
Figuring out how to talk to one another.
Yeah, just did not want to miss an episode, keep the ball moving, and now we get to come back and address some changes. So a couple things. One, I know we are changing our logo. I know that this is the fourth logo change since our conception.
But it should be the last logo change.
For a long time.
Yes, we finally have landed on one we really love.
Yep.
We own 100% of the rights to, which is a big deal in the graphic design center of the world.
Because someone I know created it.
Oh, I did create it, but that wasn't why. But it was because I want to be able to, we want to start launching some merchandise and getting to wear it on our shows.
Some swag.
Yeah, be really proud of what we're doing.
Correct.
Right? And kind of get, that word of mouth, right? People ask you, what's that mean?
So if you're listening to this.
Great opportunity to share things.
Correct. And if you're listening to this, you already see the new logo. So a little bit about it. The 3 circles at the bottom.
It's a Venn diagram.
Yep, the Venn diagram. At the center point, you have grit. The 3 circles or pillars are bravery, courage, and determination. And there's a lot of passion in those 3 things. And at that center point, you have the term grit, which we're really excited about being able to tie that symbolism into the logo. Mm-hmm. For one, we're excited to put that logo on some things and have some fun with it and really use it as a banner pushing in to what our vision for Grit Theory is.
Yeah.
And the vision for Grit Theory, what our goal is from coast to coast to foster and create a culture of people that are willing to come together in community to build better versions of themselves,
to pass it along to the generations coming behind us.
Correct. To build better versions of their families.
Right.
And of ultimately to build stronger communities.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly what we want grit to be.
So
we want it to be a value that's held high and almost like a standard, but so that it's a tangible thing that everybody can do. It doesn't have to be a catastrophic event to overcome. Mm-hmm. It can be taken in the day-to-day, the small things, the mundane things, just the grinding it out.
Well, that's where grit is developed, right? And there's 2 things on it. One, when a significant life event happens, you're either going to, more likely than not, you're going to fall to your lowest level of preparation. We talk about this a lot. It is through the daily tasks, the small things, that you develop the strength of character, the mettle, right?
Yeah, the grit helps you not become blindsided.
It gives you the skills to navigate chaos. It conditions you for the hard stuff. And one of the things I was thinking about as we were driving home, preparing for this evening, for us this evening, was the fact that grit is actually that the character traits embodied in grit is synonymous with freedom. And this is one of the reasons that we want to create a culture around this. To embrace freedom, you're embracing danger. You're embracing difficulty. You're embracing uncertainty. That's the beauty of it. But you have freedom. Mm-hmm. And in the same way, when you are courageous enough to be brave, because bravery is not the absence of fear, it's action despite fear.
Right.
And then when you embrace determination despite difficulty, when you really embody these three pillars and you foster and create grit in yourself, you are one who is better able to navigate freedom and better able to help others do it. And for all these reasons, this is really a wake-up call and an attempt for us to lead by example and how people can go into the ambiguous and unknown and act as a beacon for others to join to build the community that we want, to raise up a generation that is durable and strong and resilient and capable of amazing things, and to craft a better tomorrow.
Right. And really just kind of pull it out to the forefront of your mind, because I think a lot of people are already doing actions of grit, and they're doing them and they're not realizing, they're not identifying them as grit. And I think that really does something for your mental aspect as well. Mm-hmm. When you start to go, hey, I actually do this. How do I continue to grow upon that? Right? Like, how do I pull upon that thread and make this better?
Yeah. And to that, there's a couple of ways we're pulling on the thread. So one, there's the grit theory proper, which is where we are functionally going to explore examples of people who are exhibiting grit, have conversations that further explore topics and examples on grit, and really hone in on how can we make this tangible and actionable for people to take away and use it, ourselves included, right? So that's the grit theory proper. And then we have Untrenched, where Dr. Sandy Mayo and myself sit down and engage in intentional conversations across differences, right? Which is a skill we're practicing in and working to encourage others to do. Sit down with someone they don't know and learn to respect them and engage in that discomfort. And then something I'm extremely excited about is next Thursday, we will be launching another series called Coffee and Grit.
That we will be. And it will be hosted by moi.
It will be.
And of course, it had to have coffee in it, because anyone who knows me knows I absolutely love me some coffee. I'm always willing to sit and talk with somebody, especially if there's coffee involved. If you're not a coffee drinker, I also do drink tea.
Yeah. And if you're not a coffee drinker, that doesn't matter because you're drinking coffee.
Correct. But it'll be short snippets, just kind of like why we're doing what we're doing. How can we make this applicable? How can I, touch and pull on our female generations and really speak life into them and really have them learn to stand and own grit? And how do you continue to do that? And what does that look like? What's the walk look like? And just kind of fun things like that. So
good job keeping it wave tops, because I'm super pumped to be a part of next week's episode and to listen. And one of the things I'm so excited about Coffee and Grit is I'm in full support mode. I may not even speak during the episodes. You're the host. It's your thing, and you're going to speak to what you need to. And I may just be sitting here, the wallflower for a bit, who knows? But it's going to be a wonderful time where I think that there will be an opportunity to wake up and to encourage and to call out huge swaths of our population who need it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say anything more on it, because next week's episode is where you get to light the fireworks off for Coffee and Grit. And the bottom line synopsis, if you're, as you're listening to this, is that the grit theory has a set trajectory. It is aggressive. We're going to create community from coast to coast in this country based upon courage, bravery, and determination.
Through grit, Untrenched, and Coffee and Grit.
Yes.
All of our Venn diagrams coming back to center.
It's all coming back to center. So stay tuned. Please share it. Please follow us. And let's have some fun.
Absolutely.